For us animal lovers, abandoning a pet to their luck is unimaginable. Unfortunately, it's not an uncommon occurrence. In today's story, a woman abandons a dog in a park. And the way people reacted will remind you that the world is not so awful after all. Please give this video a like to help it reach 10K and subscribe for more stories. Welcome to Wonderbot Animals. It was a crisp morning when a passersby noticed a small dog tied to a park bench. The pup had incredibly sad eyes, and it was clear that his heart was hurting. Not only that, he was freezing. The passerby, a kind-hearted individual with a deep love for animals, couldn't bear to leave the abandoned dog behind. Approaching cautiously, they saw that the dog was shivering uncontrollably, his coat providing little defense against the chill in the air. The moment their hand gently touched the dog's fur, he let out a soft, trembling sigh. The dog's response to the stranger's touch spoke volumes of the pain pets feel when they're abandoned. While there was fear in the dog's eyes, there was also hope. After spending some time consoling and reassuring the abandoned dog, the passerby decided to take matters into their own hands. They knew the dog couldn't stay tied to the bench, shivering in the cold. They carefully untied the leash, and the dog, recognizing the newfound friendship, followed them without hesitation. The dog shelter in Langreo, a small town in Spain, was the only place he could find refuge. As the news of the abandoned dog spread through the town and eventually onto social media, emotions ran high. People were not only appalled by the act of abandonment, but also by the flimsy excuse provided by the owner. The photograph of the dog with his sad eyes became a visual representation of a larger problem that needed to be addressed. In the dog shelter, the pup found some comfort and warmth. The staff at the shelter took great care of him, providing yummy food and a safe place to rest. But he was not the only one seeking comfort that day. The people of Langreo were searching for answers, accountability, and justice for this innocent creature. As the shelter's post about the abandoned dog garnered more and more attention on social media, the comments section demanded some form of justice. The community's sense of outrage was palpable, and they were determined to find out who was responsible for this cruel act. Then, amidst the sea of comments condemning the owner, a message appeared that left everyone puzzled. Naria Suarez Sanchez wrote a message that raised more questions than it answered. She claimed, quote, "I gave him to a girl because I couldn't take care of him in the mornings. They called me from the shelter telling me that the dog was there, and the girl I gave him to told me that he ran away." It was a strange and confusing story, to say the least. If the dog had truly run away, as she claimed, why was he found tied to a park bench? But Nayaria's comments continued as she shared her side of things. She said, quote, "I called the shelter, and they told me that I can't get him back for another 10 days because he doesn't have a chip. As soon as he goes up for adoption, he goes back to my house and a relative will keep him. I've been crying for days for not being able to get him back sooner." Nayaria's words struck a chord with some, while others questioned the authenticity of her claims, wondering if maybe this was a case of negligence, cruelty, or something else entirely. The story had taken a peculiar turn, and the conclusion was far from clear. But people wanted answers about the future of the pup, so they started asking for more information in one of the posts from the shelter. Amidst the confusion and frustration, there was some hope. People who heard of the pup's story, and even those who had only heard about it through social media, began offering to adopt the little guy. One comment stood out among the rest because it expressed what everyone seemed to be feeling about the situation. It read, quote, "Hopefully everything will be resolved satisfactorily for the animal, and it will never have to go through a similar experience again. It's very important that we all become aware of the importance of identifying our dogs." Time passed, and the updates on the abandoned dog continued to trickle in. The shelter staff worked diligently to care for him, nursing him back to health and providing the emotional support that he needed. As days turned into weeks, it became apparent that the dog was beginning to trust again. He started opening up to the shelter workers, wagging his tail a little more, and even offering tentative licks of gratitude. Meanwhile, the community's response to the abandoned dog continued to be a focal point of discussion in Langreo. The incident had served as a wake-up call for many, prompting them to reflect on the responsibilities of pet ownership and the importance of proper identification through microchipping. It was a stark reminder that animals depended on humans for their care, and the community needed to ensure that such heartbreaking stories were never repeated. As the 10-day mark approached, everyone was eager for an update from the shelter. Finally, it came, and they let the community know that the owner had not come forward to claim the dog within the specified 10-day window. The dog was officially available for adoption, and the shelter was accepting applications from potential adopters. The response was overwhelming. People from all walks of life, sharing the common desire to provide a loving home for the abandoned dog, submitted their applications. In the end, a family from Langreo was chosen to be the dog's new guardians. They had a spacious yard for the dog to play in and an abundance of love to share. As they walked through the shelter's doors to meet their new furry family member, the dog's eyes, once filled with fear and sadness, now sparkled with hope and excitement. The moment the dog and his new family met was nothing short of heartwarming. He wagged his tail excitedly, and it was clear that he knew that he had found a better home. The community was also very happy with how things turned out for him. We have to wonder, what would have happened to this dog if it hadn't been found by someone kind, or if the community hadn't rallied behind him? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. The lessons learned from this story resonated far and wide, not just in Langreo, but throughout the world. It underscored the importance of responsible pet ownership, the necessity of proper identification through microchipping, and the immense capacity for love and kindness that exists within us all. That's it for us today. Remember to like the video and subscribe for more. Until next time.